Uh-huh.
It.
We at it
What's up,
again.
man?
We at it again, man.
We back. We back. We back,
What's up?
y'all.
Another episode of Vibes
Vibes
and Convo.
convo.
Uh-huh.
You
Uh-huh.
feel me?
Look, man.
Yeah.
Let's get right into this, man. We're gonna set the tone right away, right?
Exactly.
So you know the three things we need to set the tone right over here at Vibes and Convo, right?
What's
Before
that?
we
What would
hop
need?
into that subject right there that you see right there at the corner, right there,
Yes.
right there.
Yeah. You need to add hey, that should be part two, right? Part
Hey,
two?
hey, 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 hey.
Mm.
This is part two. This is part two,
Part
man. Part
two.
two of the dopest. So the first thing we came up with the dopest R&B producers, right? And it
Yes.
spawned a big
Mhm.
conversation and who's an R&B producer and who's a hip hop producer and a lot
Right.
of other things that we're gonna cover right here. So this is part two. This is part two, man. But
Yes.
we gonna make it a deeper concept of calling it producers,
Definitely.
producers, right?
Definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
So with that being said, before we do that, let's set the tone. So over here at Vibes and Combo, we set the tone. So three things you need. One is you need your place of comfort, your bed. That could be your couch. That can be your game chair for the game
Mm.
players.
Yeah, I'm in my game chair.
That can be, you know, look, it can be a bean bag. People ain't heard that in a minute, huh? A
Oh
bean bag,
wow.
you
Look
know,
at that beanbag.
it can be
What
that.
we
I want to get one of those, matter of
what we
fact.
young college
Now
age
that I said
kids
it,
in our bean bags
look,
playing foosball.
look.
I I hear they making them
And,
way
and, the,
better nowadays too.
and the second thing is we need you to get your favorite set of headphones.
Got them
Good
over here, sir.
quality. Get you some headphones, so you can be in this conversation with us, man, while we dive into this.
Wow.
Last but not least,
Wow.
we need you to get your beverage of
Yeah.
your own choosing.
It's
See what mine is?
empty.
It's the water, and I cover the label. I
I
cover
don't
the
know
label.
where it went.
Yeah. So,
Mine is gone.
so you need those three things, man, to get this thing started.
Right.
Um, yeah, man. So let's get into this topic, producers, man. We do have a special guest that's in the back room right now that we're gonna bring
Mhm.
up on the screen, and he's gonna be a part of this episode and help us get to the bottom of producers, man.
One of San Diego's finest.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
The
He's
world,
a man of
Craig.
he's a man of many skills, especially when he's talking about this music thing. Man of many skills, producer,
Mm.
songwriter,
Yeah.
MC,
Uh-huh.
uh, uh, uh,
Musician.
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 Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
Mhm.
mean?
yeah. Everybody knows him as
Yes.
AK.
Right.
Brr, brr,
AK.
brr,
Yo.
Walk, walk.
bah, 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 bah. Boo, boo,
Rah.
boo, boo.
I don't know.
Rah, rah.
21 gun salute. You know what I'm saying?
For
For my
real,
guy.
man.
Yeah.
You guys
AK,
are too
y'all.
kind. You're too kind.
Welcome to Vibes of Combo, man. How
Yeah,
you doing?
man.
Thank you
Yeah,
for
man.
having me. Thank you for
And
having me.
we are in good company tonight, y'all.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
this dude AK, this guy right here. Yo, we about to get into it.
Hey,
Yeah, man.
we appreciate you blessing us, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you
Yeah. So
guys,
let's
man.
let's
I'm doing this just to get closer to y'all. So let's
Nah,
let's
man.
let's get closer.
This
The
guy.
cat's out the bag. Oh shoot.
Nah, man.
We've
Not
been
kidding.
had, fellas.
I
Damn
mean,
it.
we're in exceptional company.
we
This
got to
means
the bottom
this
of it.
might be the last episode y'all gonna see us, fellas. Next time y'all see us, we might be overseas somewhere.
You know it. You know it.
Right.
Let's talk about it though. Producers. So we
Okay.
left off with the dopest R&B producers, right?
Right.
From
Yeah.
that conversation, it spawned off into, wait, who is an R&B producer and who's really not? And it spawned into different kind of conversations. It almost went off subject a few times,
hmm
Right.
from what I
I mean,
remember,
I mean, it
because
was good.
right, because
hmm
of the producers we're mentioning,
Yep.
and they kind of got their rep in different fields, music fields. So
hmm
with that being said, man, these producers like Timberland,
Yeah.
we need to bring him up first because he was on that when we talked about him on the first episode.
uh
He
He comes from R&B.
yeah, it comes from
Yeah.
R&B, but as
But
Kurt
he's
was saying,
primarily
he
known
really looked
as
at him as a
hip hop.
R&B producer. You know,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
I always
to the-
think of him as R&B producer because of those records. You know what I'm saying? Certain records that he did, I remember those R&B records. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And
Are
to
You
me-
That Somebody? Yeah, you know, One in a Million. Like,
Yeah.
you
To
can't get
me,
around those records.
he was more iconic. The most iconic I've seen him was the Jay-Z Black Album documentary. And you see Jay-Z wanting to get a Timberland record for his. I'm like, damn, Timberland is that dude.
Mhm.
He makes
Right.
records for the
Sir,
Easy.
sir,
upper echelon.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
something to say. Can
Go
you
right ahead.
guys? I
Please.
could vividly remember just like the cricket on Aaliyah's album
Mhm.
from Timbaland,
Yep.
and then just the snaps in the
Mm.
Yep.
you know, all that stuff. It was like that changed the way I thought about drums the rest of my life.
Mm.
Onky knows that I'm just doing too much with wood blocks and like no hi hats
Yep.
and just trying to make an organic sound, you know.
Yep.
I
Yep.
got
That's
some
crazy.
files. I got some files that were like floating around LA from some buddies of mine, and it sounds from like Ninth Wonder, sounds from like Dre, and I don't know how honest those were, but I had a folder that was like sounds that Timbaland was using, and I still use them to this day. And it's very unorthodox. It's not normal hi-hat patterns, you know, drum set stuff. So
Not traditional by any means.
not traditional. He was
Also
very
had
nice.
that had the crying baby, right? Or the laughing baby.
Yeah,
What
the
do
baby. Yeah, that was.
you call it,
Yeah,
you know?
that blew everybody's mind when they heard that crying baby. Like, I remember him.
Call
I
it the
remember
crying
Yo.
baby.
I remember he did interviews for like an entire year just behind that song, explaining the breakdown of that song.
It was almost like a baby laughing more
Yeah.
than get more in the
Right.
yeah.
I guess the right word is cooing. Cooing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh,
Baby
right.
coo.
Baby
There we go. There we go.
Coo, 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 coo.
That was crazy, man. Like
Yeah.
hearing those in the record. And then we like that was one of his trades, right? Like you
Right.
had that the triple do, 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 do,
Mhm.
do, do, do,
Yeah.
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
man, you know.
Definitely.
Yeah. Definitely had that triple F.
Definitely push the envelope forward.
Yeah, he was involved in early Jay-Z
Yeah.
too, you know.
Yeah.
Remember them getting a Timberland beat.
Yeah.
Chicken what?
That
But
Jigga what?
also he put out Genuine. Solely gave him his sound.
For sure.
He did
He completely rebirthed Aaliyah's
Pony.
career. Completely
Yeah.
overhauled Aaliyah's career.
Yeah, see.
Yeah. Get that there was an Aaliyah before Timberland and Missy.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
I don't forget them songs, man.
Hey, and that's how you got to reference Aaliyah always, before Timberland and after Timberland.
Mm.
Aaliyah sounded like she was really soft on the mic. Like,
Yeah.
you know how you got like
Uh-huh.
singers
Yeah.
and you got singers.
yeah.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like
What's up, bud?
it's
Very angelic, you know.
Yeah.
yeah, it was almost
I think that's just her overall tone, in my opinion. In general, or whatever, but you definitely saw the growth as she matured. You could definitely see her starting to strengthen the more she started to mature
Yeah.
in her career up until the end. I think we had yet to see the best of her.
what
I
was
think
the
she was
last
developing that before she got taken away from us.
was the last single that she did? I think it was
Rock the boat. Yeah, rock the
Yes.
boat.
Was that
that's
Timbaland?
huge?
Yeah. Was that Timberland?
It
Actually, that one per se, I don't think it was Timberland. I think it was more so Missy
Mhm.
herself, which you kind of could
That's
say.
something that's a good question.
All right.
Ooh.
All right. I'll find out right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely needs some research on that.
No,
Yeah.
because that's the last one that you guys had. I had mentioned Missy, and I hope that this
Uh-huh.
this Google search helps support my last saying about Missy. Aaliyah Rock the Boat
Uh-huh.
producer.
So I feel like that whole like Super Friends crew worked on that second album.
Eric Seats Rapture.
Mm.
I don't know who that is, but the label was Blackground Virgin.
Background, yep.
Mm.
Songwriters Steven Static Major.
There you go.
Garrett
Oh,
There
yeah,
we go.
Static. Yep,
Rapture.
there you go. Static Major. There you go.
Yep.
Very cool. Oh.
So from the
she
group
must have-
player.
From the group
I mean,
player.
obviously, you could, when you're Aaliyah, you have as many producers as you want, but
Mhm.
well, I guess we also didn't know that was going to be her last cut either. So
Right,
Right.
right. Because he did, We Need a Resolution. Like he did a lot of records on that second album too.
Dude,
Yeah, Static.
wait, was that a single or
Timberland
was
too.
we know if that was off an album? I'm sorry if I'm sounding
Rock the Boat?
uneducated.
We need a
Was that just a thing?
Rock the Boat was Rock the Boat
Yeah.
was off.
Yeah. Resolution also was on one of her albums, but it was also on the soundtrack as well.
Mm-hmm. That and
They did that a lot during that period. Put
Well, that was
some
on her
gay-
third and
gay
final
songs
studio
multiple
album.
placements. Yeah,
I kept saying second album. It is her third album.
third album. Yeah.
We Need a
Third album.
Resolution. Third album.
Yeah.
Because
It seemed like
what album?
right after 1 in a Million, it was like, okay, Timberland is move, for her.
Right.
Oh yeah, definitely. They were just about to kick her in high gear too, man. They really was.
Right.
Yeah.
Like she was really starting to get into her bag.
She's
She was starting to come out as far as an actress. With
Right,
Queen
'cause
of the
she just
Damned
did
or
Romeo-
whatever she had. She
Right.
had more stuff that was lined up.
Then she do Romeo Must Die too.
Huh?
Then she do.
Yeah, she did Romeo Must Die. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And she
Yeah.
had more stuff coming and everything. Like, yeah, man. It just wasn't gone too soon.
See, that's all the things that Timberland is a part of, man. Aaliyah, Genuine,
Yeah.
those are
Yeah.
those are super
Missy.
duper R&B superstars that
Yeah.
we just
Right.
named. Them two right there, like
Justin Timberlake.
that's what makes Timberland. He has to be part of that R&B party because of that right
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Those two.
Right.
Big part.
Well, no one can deny that, but before the subject matter in which you brought up and you want to be a stickler for the rules, you were the one that said no, straight R&B, like straight up and down.
Right.
No. So that's what broke down the lit. That's the criteria we went by.
Right.
But no one would ever argue that Timberland is either or. Like, come on. man.
Right. He's definitely
He's just an all around great musician. Period. Yeah.
right.
You can't never put him in the box.
I put Timberland and then another one. So if we're gonna just say producers, let's keep it real close to VA and let's talk about our guy Pharrell.
2 Up, 2 Down.
You know what I'm saying? Star Trek.
Yeah, 2 Up, 2 Down.
Well, then there's the Neptunes, and then there's just Pharrell, right?
Right. Well, the Neptunes are what is it?
NERD.
Yeah, NERD.
They pretty much are Neptunes. NERD is.
It's more of a band with Chad and Hugo,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then you got the Neptunes as an actual production company,
Mm-hmm.
and then you got Pharrell, who is, I don't know.
That too.
In his own
Feel
right,
that.
a production genius.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Whoa,
it's a lot
sorry
of
to go
pieces.
sorry to go back, but
Go
to
ahead.
prove your point,
Mhm.
Timbaland's biggest first hit was an R&B song. So his introduction was
Yeah.
R&B with Genuine.
For sure,
Yep.
Pony.
One hits? One hits?
Mhm.
Wait. What is this saying? One hits? Norfolk, Virginia, U.S. Timbaland's first full credit production work was in 1996 on Genuine, The Bachelor, for R&B singer
Ah.
Genuine.
Mhm.
Right. There we
Genuine,
go.
So-
that R&B
He's a
song.
certified R&B producer if your first banger is an R&B
That's
hit.
right.
So
And that whole album, top 2 bottom,
Heck yeah, the Bachelor was
Timberland.
crazy.
Yeah,
Timberland.
and it was Timberland, Missy,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Combination.
Right.
But
It's
back
crazy.
back to what you were saying. Who was the next one? Sorry, I was busy googling.
I was
Yeah,
going
real
to
fact.
Pharrell.
Oh, Pharrell. That's right. That's
But
right.
Pharrell is definitely more of a hip hop
Skateboard
producer.
Pete.
He's more of a
Skateboard
hip hop
Pete.
producer for sure. But
Well,
at the
let me
same
do
time,
the same thing.
If we going by this criteria, his first hit was with SWV.
Rum shit. That's crazy. Let's go.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah,
He's not just a straight up and down. I'm thinking about the clips. I'm thinking about the groups that he carried. But you're right.
Right.
He has a
They
lot
all
of
did hip
he
hop
come-
records.
he come off a Teddy Riley tree.
Facts.
He does.
Yeah. His first appearance was in ba-da-da-da-da. All I wanna do wanna zoom and a boom boom.
Yeah.
Pharrell's in there?
You're wrong.
Yeah. I think he
Wow.
First
produced
thing he
that.
ever did.
I think he
First
produced
thing-
that.
First
Him
thing
and
he ever
Teddy
did.
Riley.
Now, was this before the Neptunes?
This is
Way
before the Neptunes.
before.
Way before Neptunes.
This is good info.
But when the
Good info.
Neptunes first formed,
Yeah.
yeah, their first hit was with SWV.
What song? Do you know?
Right.
Do you know what?
What song it is?
I want to say it was off the second album. I gotta look it up again.
Boom, boom, boom. Let's see.
But I had it in the
I'm
mental
not getting-
Rolodex like just a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
I'm doing my check right now too.
Right. Yes. That's where's my phone?
You're right, bro.
It says Pharrell provided the ad-libs for SWV's debut single right here.
Love
there you go.
will be right
Right
here.
here. Yep, that's
Be
right.
right here. Oh, that was a banger.
Yeah, that's a Michael Jackson song, straight
Oh.
stolen loop though. there ain't
That's
no
why it was a
musicians
banger.
on that.
Hey,
But
hey,
yeah,
you would, hey, AK. One thing you can attest to, man. You've known about anybody that knows anything about R&B. It tends to be repetitive at some point. At some point, R&B tends to be repetitive.
The voice chanting SWV in the
SS
Right
double
Here
double
Human
U
Nature
double
remix
V.
is
Oh.
Pharrell Williams.
SS
Yep.
double U double V.
That makes sense.
This was one of Pharrell's
Oh,
first credits.
Mhm.
snap.
yo, Kurt, you're right too, man. Rump Shaker, he was one of the writers on that tune.
Yeah. Shout out to
Rex
I
and
used to
Effect.
they put
Wow.
they drilled that in my head. I used to live in Norfolk, Virginia.
Yep.
So, I ran into some of the same guys.
I
Yeah,
think
we kind
Folks been around.
we kind of be doing our homework over here, man. We be on our R&B nerd talk heavy.
Folks been around. Folks
Right.
been around. That's
we
crazy.
really do, man. That's why it's
Right.
special that we got you on right now.
Heck yeah, man.
yeah, well, we don't want to put this thing out into the internet and have a bunch of false facts on it.
Oh
We gotta
no,
fact
no,
check.
no,
This
no.
This is
true.
what I
never that.
feel.
No, never that.
I think
Never that.
Pharrell Williams, like, all right,
Skateboard P.
he ride bikes. Ooh, that's a hot take.
Right.
Like what?
Right.
Anyway, y'all.
Cool.
Let's see.
Pharrell, so
What else?
are we
Yeah,
just
we
going
got
around?
more. We got more people.
All right, so if you don't mind.
Just you like AK.
Yeah. Well, all right. Here I go throwing a monkey wrench into this conversation.
It's all good.
Go
It's
ahead.
all
Go
good.
ahead.
Okay, for me, producing has evolved. So there's
Okay.
different types of producers. And I run into cats all the time. For the past 20 years, been like, yeah, I'm just producing, It's like, what? What does that mean? Well,
Right.
I just got Fruity Loops and, and I'm like, now I don't make fun of those people anymore. I kind of am right now, but still, some cats will do some serious damage with Fruity Loops. But if you get into like arranging strings and writing charts, Quincy Jones, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Quincy was able to work with people, just everybody,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think he did "Fly Me to the Moon," and he did
Yep.
all that other stuff for the Vegas Cats, and
Yep.
but then and people do say like, oh, he had his first hit with Thriller, and it was like, you don't know anything about
Nah.
Quincy Jones,
You
Nah.
really don't.
But I
He's
did.
touring
But
Europe and
A musician first.
he was a
Heck
trumpet
yeah.
player.
I mean,
Yeah,
he's a trumpet player. Musician
Yeah.
first.
Mm.
second chair or something like that.
He did
But
a lot of
But Cole.
But
Cold.
yeah, we could talk about Quincy Jones, but that's a low blow.
right.
But
Mhm.
to my point, it's just there's
Mhm.
levels of this stuff.
okay. Yeah.
Factual.
There's levels to producing, because I don't think today the 90s still had some producers that had the capability to write strings. Like Boyz II Men had a lot of real like symphony stuff. They had 100
Oh,
tracks
yeah.
on. They that
Brian
producer
McKnight.
really had to arrange parts.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
So
right.
producers and
Brian-
arrangers are another one. Producers and beat makers are different.
Like
I don't
people
want to.
program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
but for me, I think one of the most like all time favorite producers are people who can get in your face and do the song and handle the song themselves just as well as the artist, like Babyface.
Mm.
Mm.
So like
Why is
think
that important? Why do you feel that that's important?
I feel that it's important because the producer is able to own the song and know what they're hearing and able to execute what they need to get done. I've sat in a room with like two producers and they don't know where to go, but it's because they never played a keyboard, or they never, they could kind of hum a tune and they hear it in their head. I hear that all the time, dude. I hear it in my head, but they don't
know how to articulate that.
Yeah, they didn't know how to articulate or communicate in the studio. So what those other producers like, Babyface, to those beat makers, because I know some good producers, and there's a lot of people that I see, and I'm like, you got an ear for it, dude, but you got to work for that. Like you gotta grab the guitar, because when you're in here trying to produce a guitar player, I don't want to hear you going like, I'm hearing this like playing. You're like, what, dude? I wish you took the time in your life to be able to call out a B flat major 7, so that a producer's like, I'm hearing B flat, I'm hearing B flat, add the 7th. We'll arrange the harmonies to have a 9th, or flat 9 or whatever, the communication needs to be there, and the singer needs to be able to put up as well, like producer and singer. If the singer got perfect pitch and knows what that producer's talking about, and they could like, oh, okay, you want a B instead of a C. There's levels to that thing,
Right.
So some producers were definitely lucky to work with people, but one of the reasons I'm always so interested in, like, I wish that I was a fly on the wall for like Michael Jackson sessions, is because Michael didn't play an instrument, or maybe he did and we don't know.
No,
Or maybe he was able to pick out 1, 3, 5 on the piano, or I don't want to underestimate him, but maybe he doesn't go chord to chord, but he can be like bing, 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 bing. That's what I'm hearing.
I can tell you exactly what he did. I wish to God I still had those discs that I bought from overseas. They actually had actual background tracks of how he created certain songs. From his hit out from off of Thriller and off the Wall and stuff like that. Like there were excerpts at the very end of these albums. I wish I still had them. But his process was anything instrument wise he wanted you to play, he would sing it exactly how he wanted, in the exact key that he wanted it in, and that's how he communicated with.
That's perfect.
That's really how he put his tracking and stuff together, along with his brothers and sisters. Like there's recordings of Janet from as young as 8 or 9 years old playing percussion with her brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Trying to help Michael cultivate what went on to be like stuff on the Thriller album, on the Off the Wall album.
That's crazy.
And so on and so forth. Like I was like, wow. Even early on, like he was orchestrating without having to play any instruments at all.
Did you
Like, he
guys
was
ever
creating
see
songs
that?
from the ground up in that way.
Did you ever see that clip of Quincy Jones talking about how when he arranged the strings for what's the Michael song? His first off the
Oh, you talking
wall.
about
Now, I want you, baby. Woo.
Why is
I
I'm
think
having a
Um,
oh, it's this big hit,
you get
dude.
enough?
Wow. No.
we didn't hear enough of it.
Off the wall.
You get enough. Come on.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Don't
it
stop
is.
till you get
Scrambling in
enough.
my
Sorry.
brain, but I know
That
it's
is it. That is it.
Sorry.
scrambling
Wow,
in my
I can't believe
brain.
That
I
is
can't
it.
believe that happened to me right now. Thank you, Unky.
Don't stop till you get enough.
But
That was
there's
it.
a clip of that song where Michael was like, "Nah, take the strings off," and Quincy was like, "Are you kidding me?" He's like, "That's what's making the song." You know, he's like, "All these years I've been arranging strings," and he's all,
Yeah.
"This kid was like, take the strings off, nah," and that he told a bunch of people to tell him to take the strings off, and Quincy was like, "No, the strings," like he was serious, like strings are staying. And then the reporter was like, "Well, who won that one?" And he goes, "Well, the strings are on the song, aren't they?" And I was like, "Ooh, he ain't playing,
Right.
man." Quincy was from the hood, so he's probably like,
Yeah.
"Dude, I don't care who you are, you ain't
Yeah.
strings are staying or not."
You're like, oh, take the strings away, huh? Yeah. Nah, we
Right.
good.
Yeah, this is what's gonna make your career right here. That tagline at the beginning, you know.
Man,
He
that's
was
crazy.
so right, wasn't he?
The most memorable. You said a piece of it, and all of us was like, yeah, we know it.
Yeah, yeah.
Heck yeah.
Don't stop till you keep on.
All the lyrics was just like not there. Like I couldn't think of the
Yeah,
The
I don't know
melodic
what
was
happened.
Yep.
melodic was there.
A plane went over our heads and like stopped us from connecting with the satellites because we're all we
Right.
can't work without our phones.
Folks gonna
Man.
see this and they're gonna be like, y'all couldn't think of that song? Come on.
I know, right?
Straight up.
Room full of producers.
Look, we can always say it was the Wi-Fi. It was the Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
funny.
it's bad.
Blame everything on the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah, man.
All right, well, we did Quincy. We
Quincy-
touched on a little bit of Babyface. You guys want to elaborate on Babyface?
Yeah, I think we should.
Man.
Okay.
'Cause see, he okay. So when we seen Babyface, like we seen him come from a group too, right?
Yes.
So
Mhm.
but it's like his career is interesting to me because I feel like he like after the group jumped right into the whole songwriting thing
Yep.
Right.
and went off.
Yeah.
And went off into that world, you know what I mean?
Right.
But then he still managed to come back as a solo artist,
And create
Right.
his own
did
narrative
his
in
own
that
thing
way.
too. So
Yep.
you know, a lot of folks don't talk about it, but you know, they talk about the records he's written for others, you know, but because he's
Right.
written so many.
What's the song?
After
Someone to
s-
Love.
After 7 was
It's a group with his
It's
brothers.
His brothers.
with his brothers.
His brothers and cousin.
Yeah, Kayvon Edmonds,
Mhm.
Babyface. It was his brother who just passed. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Melvin
Melvin.
Edmonds?
Yeah, Melvin.
Melvin Edmonds, his
Melvin,
older
okay.
brother.
Kevin Edmonds and Melvin Edmonds.
Yeah. Yeah.
His,
Kayvon
his
Edmonds.
real name. His real
Let's see.
name is Babyface's real name is Kenneth Brian
Kenneth.
Edmonds.
Yeah, he's Kenneth.
Right.
Mm.
His brother Kayvon Edmonds is actually one of my favorite vocalists.
Yeah, buddy.
That 24/7 song that came out was
Oh
enough.
yeah.
Was
Oh, yeah.
enough. I said,
Yeah.
oh, he's one of them. Like a
Mm.
Jesse Powell type first tenor type
Yep.
vocalist. Super dope.
Still a killer too.
Let me
Right.
take a little bit out of Wikipedia. Edmonds later met funk producer Bootsy Collins, who tagged him Babyface because of his youthful look. He also performed in the group Manchild, which had a 1977 hit, Especially for You, with
Oh.
band member Daryl Simmons as a guitarist. He played keyboards, guitar, in a light funk and R&B group, The Deal, which
Yeah.
also included drummer Antonio L.A. Reid. with whom he would later form a successful writing and producing partnership. One of his first major credits as a songwriter for outside artists came when he wrote the tune "Slow Jam" for the R&B band Midnight Star in 1983.
Yep.
Whoa.
Classic Babyface.
Whoa.
So
can
he
get all
met
over that.
L.A. Reid. He met L.A. Reid gigging,
Yeah.
Right.
and L.A. Reid was a drummer. Love that.
That was the deal's biggest hit.
That's
Mhm.
day and night. Hey.
Like,
Yes,
like,
sir.
like, come on, man. They blast off. I know right then and there they didn't know that, hey, we're gonna be, you know, strictly writers and produce, like that's strictly our calling
Dang.
card. They didn't know that
Hey.
then, but it
I'm sorry, but Babyface, okay. So Boyz II Men is probably the reason why I do music. One of my earliest influences when I was old enough to enjoy it, buy it, and be like, yeah, that's what I want to do. Boom. But I liked them because of the songs that Babyface wrote for them, and that put me on Babyface. So I think that was my gateway that sent me back this way and forward.
Yeah. Yep.
because it started with Babyface and L.A. Reid, right? So they were a
Yeah.
production team at
That's
first, right?
crazy.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then later on, Babyface started doing his own
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
his own thing.
Writing and production
Boyz
also.
II Men and things
And,
like
and LA more
Right.
so started to focus more so on the business side.
Right.
crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
What
But since y'all brought up
honestly,
LA and Face, man, you can't forget Flight Time, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
Yep.
True.
They were like that. They were like that version of them too. Like, like it's crazy.
Come on, Janet.
Well,
it was.
the other day I forgot how much I liked Tony Braxton. And I remember my brother making fun of me. Unky, Kurt, you guys know my brother, bro. He's not musically inclined. So I look back and I'm like, dude, that dude used to tease me for things that would have I would have been ahead of the game if I was like not afraid to play Tony Braxton hella loud,
Yeah.
you know? If I was able to like get deep into those albums,
yeah,
you know, my brother would be like, yo, turn that.
She's,
You know?
she's one of those artists that
one
got
of
to
the-
work with she got to work with some producers, man.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, but after attracting the attention of producers Antonio L.A. Reid and Kenneth Babyface Edmonds and being signed to LaFace Records, Braxton released her self-titled debut studio album in '93.
Yeah.
Another sad love song, Breathe Again.
Damn.
Heaters.
They called this
10 million copies, bro.
Yeah, and she gets better with age too, man. It's just something about her tone. Period. Every time you hear her, you fall in love with her all over again.
Yeah.
I know. I'm telling you, the other day in the car, I was ready.
It's just something rich and sensual about her.
She
knows it.
I love altos, my G.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my wife. She's an alto. Shout out to my wife.
All right.
That's what's up.
She wouldn't be a tenor? You don't think she would be a tenor?
She can do that too?
She's for sure a tenor, but I gotta give her second alto.
Okay, there you go.
With a nice bottom range.
Can't you hear I could totally hear Babyface though. It's just another sad love song.
Oh yes. Right in the pocket.
Turn up.
And it was a perfect blend with her sound, her tone, and his writing.
Dude. That's what I'm talking about, fellas. Yeah. Let's get into it.
Yeah, she was the perfect instrument. She was the perfect instrument for him.
Heck yeah.
Perfect instrument for him. Perfect. He had already had success with Bobby on the male side as far as his writing and production goes.
Just think about that
but with Tony, he was really in his bag. He was really in his bag.
Right.
Yo, just
like he couldn't miss with her.
Think about the approach to those melodies. Like you hear them, they resonate with you, and you keep singing them, but you just don't really realize, like, man, that's not a very normal way to. You know what I mean?
To me, it's borderline country.
Yeah, then she did.
It's funny it's funny you mentioned that.
like a yodel. You know what I mean?
Fun fact, Babyface has very early in his days admitted to liking country music early on. When he was learning how to play a lot of instruments.
You guys,
When I hear songs like "When Can I See You Again," like
When can I see you? Yeah,
it has that country.
Hold on, but hold on.
Like
I
a
was having
folky.
this conversation the other day, bro.
That's crazy, huh?
So many people do not understand that country music is black music, bro.
Oh,
The
yo,
the banjo.
Thank you.
The banjo's
African.
The banjo, like these cats. I don't want to cuss too much because then when I get into this situation, I get upset. But it's like, the banjo.
This is an adult program, sir.
I'm telling you, yo. So Elvis Presley had a lot to do with effing up R&B, you know, and the progression of black music. And just cats like that in general. The word country music kind of gets me upset because everyone wants to think of a hillbilly and a straw hat with a banjo. But the banjo comes from New Orleans, but it came to New Orleans from Zimbabwe. So I was blessed enough.
I'm from New Orleans, and I ain't know that.
AK, you just became my favorite producer, bro. I love you.
Hey,
thank you for speaking the truth. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, what's funny is
because it sounds crazy coming from me a lot of time.
Well, I got to learn a lot traveling with these guys. The drummer, he's from Ghana, and like he was showing me a lot of gosh, I don't want to say it wrong. Ghanaian, however they say Ghana, people from Ghana. Ghanaian? Mm-hmm. Okay. But the approach to the African melodies from the north regions to the east to the south all varied, you know, and different techniques and playing and syncopations. But one of the reasons why I love Timbaland, because he had that in his soul, bro. Those patterns are like super African patterns. And like when I met a lot of my, like once I got older and started getting the Afro-Cuban, you know, Latin Afro stuff, I was learning that it was a combination of like Latinos and blacks that were like making these things. And when I hear producers use those things like country yodel, and I hear it in like music from Ghana, and I hear it coming from Africa, and I hear it coming from the progression of like Georgia and Florida and all that stuff, it really makes me appreciate the culture more, you know what I'm saying? And being a Latino, you know, we've got our own culture stuff that people have taken and stuff like that. But when I also get into, you know, African American, Afro-Cuban, Afro-Latino, it's kind of cool that I have this like, you know, we have this merging genre that's shared a lot of cool stuff. So, you know, Europe, they had bagpipes, bro. Like, not even Europe, but I'm talking about like England and Scotland, and these are that we say country music, and it's like that Tony Braxton yodel, you know. We can't really say where that's coming from, but L.A. Reid and Babyface are paying attention to that stuff, you know.
Unbreak my heart, say love me again.
Who wrote that? Who wrote that record?
How she did?
Babyface.
Was it Babyface?
You're making me sorry. I'm looking it up.
Let's source it. Let's source it. I'm saying Babyface. I could be wrong.
It was Babyface.
You don't think Babyface wrote "Unbreak My Heart"? Maybe he didn't.
Babyface did "Unbreak My Heart." I could be wrong.
That sounds like homeboy from who was doing Mariah Carey at the time.
I thought what's the name wrote that?
Dave.
I'm looking at it right now.
Unbreak Heart, Tony Braxton.
I done sent y'all down the rabbit hole. Oh yeah.
He likes watching a scramble, huh?
No,
records.
If anything, it's just an example of what
Dion
singing.
Warren? Dion Warren.
David Foster.
Dave
Songwriter.
Foster.
That's the producer,
Songwriter.
songwriter Dionne Warren.
Yep.
And fun fact is considered pop and R&B.
Right.
Hey, I may sound ignorant about this, but is Babyface is LaFace, right? Or is that
Yeah.
just the irony?
That one and the same. One and the same.
LaFace is Babyface's label, and that's why it's called LaFace.
Let's call it
L.A.
L.A.
Reid
Reid and
and
Babyface.
Babyface.
Ah,
Collective.
yes, thank you.
Face.
Yeah.
L.A. Love Face. Yeah.
They were they
Yeah.
teamed up.
They formed that company together.
Things are a little foggy in 1993. Sorry, I was only 8 years old. 7 years old, 8 years old.
Oh,
It's all a little foggy.
damn, 93.
That's right. 93. How was I 93?
Well, no, sorry. Unbreak My Heart. I don't know if that's 93, but it's probably 97.
It's in that pocket. It's in
All
that
those years
era.
are-
96 won a Grammy in 97, huh?
Yep.
1996.
96.
Yeah. It's a good year, bro.
It is.
We keep going back to that 1996 golden era year, bro, of
Mhm.
all things music.
Yep.
I hate to go off topic, but we were talking about 96 today, and it's like Tupac and Biggie had to die to
Jeez,
calm
96.
everything down.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Because I was thinking
Hey.
about like some of the songs, bro, and I hate to say that anybody has to die, but sometimes that's how life is. The music industry was like, well, I was thinking about how, like, yo, I had friends that just like they lived and died to be like Tupac. So we would go out,
Yeah.
chest out, you know, like who's ready to scrap, and you know what I mean. And I'm not saying that
Right,
Biggie
right.
really took part of it, but he kind of did. You know, he would throw his jabs every now and then, mainly Tupac. But I feel like Tupac had to pass away for like the industry to just relax and like open up for new people, you know, because it was like this blockade of the West Coast, East Coast rap beef, and people dying
Yeah.
left and right, promoting gang violence like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
what's
you know what's
sad
crazy
is that
is thinking back on that. It's like, the magazine was what you would say
Yes.
is like what social media is now.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Very much so.
Talking about the
But
Source
the
magazine.
magazine was the magazines were a little slower to
Mhm.
information than
Yep.
social media. Social media is like, oh, I just found this today. Boop, this was going on right now.
But
Just
but
got
they
this,
were
like,
but they were still
minutes.
very instrumental for how
They
it
were
turned out.
instrumental to trying to create headlines
Yeah.
and things like that. But when I do listen to Tupac, like now in 2022,
Yeah.
listening to some of them songs because I'm listening to it with a more mature mind and ready ears.
Yeah.
It sounds. I feel like I can hear more what was going on with him
Uh-huh.
at the time.
Ah.
Some of it does sound wild, like it sounds.
Mhm.
sounds kind of
Plus you-
childish. Like
Plus
to
you
me,
got more insight knowing what you know about them now.
when I listen
That
to it
too.
now, I'm like, damn, it's almost like Tupac had this Benjamin Button thing about him. Like he was old first, and then he declined with like his knowledge. Like he
That's
started off in
interesting.
school with mad respect
laughing
with
'cause that's
women, you know, and then like
Yeah.
he started to like lose all that super smart, you know, empowering women.
With the actions and stuff.
Yeah, and then
I get
calling
what
women
you're saying.
hoes and doing that whole thing. And it's like he got so far away and he was on the right path, but bro, music industry's hell, bro. Like some of the horror stories I hear, bro, they were pulling him. Dude, I firmly believe that that dude could be president. He could have been president if he was on the right path.
Right.
You know, and I don't even
No
know if president is
doubt.
the right path because still don't. We can get into that, but
Yeah.
I feel like his odds were against him, and I do feel
Right.
that it was oppression from the
And he was
music
leader.
industry.
He was like a
I mean,
his leadership was
Yeah.
big.
yeah,
Like,
that was his true. That was one of his truest talents, the ability to galvanize and lead people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He resonated with
Yeah.
people like,
Yeah.
you know,
And plus,
we're talking about him today.
and plus, in all fairness, like his circumstances from birth were not like anybody else's.
Mm.
Right.
Like there was a certain level of awareness a certain level of paranoia he had to live with from birth. Like
It's in his
never,
DNA.
yeah, exactly. Like I could never imagine what it was like walking in his shoes. Never
Right.
in a million years. But doggone, for all intents and purposes, thank God we got him.
Right, man. Chuck.
I could see him being a dope producer. I could see him like, I heard rumors that he was
And he-
getting ready to break away from Death Row, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
And
Yeah,
he
that
for
was.
sure.
he was gonna start producing and doing his own label, right?
Yes. Matter of fact, he has production credit on John B's Cool Relax album.
No way. All right. See, I like how this is coming full
With the
circle.
Are You Still Down? If you go back and read the credits, he's got production credit on.
Okay.
Under a record label he was just about to start before his untimely demise, obviously. But yeah, he was that's the fact. He was definitely gonna break away.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was going in a whole other direction, man. And damn. Vegas.
I mean, he was young, man. He was really a kid, yo.
Yeah,
it's
really
funny.
was.
We saying that, but we in our 30s, at least.
Exactly. He was
Tupac
still a
was
child.
20. It was 20-something years old when he got killed.
26.
Yeah, by our standards,
Yeah.
he was still a child.
Right.
You make a really good point, Kurt, for real. Because if we were having this conversation 10 years ago, we'd probably be like, what are you talking about? Tupac's the best.
10 years ago, I was probably still trying to not fight people at the club and, you know what I'm saying? All kind of young stuff.
10 years ago, we were working on your album on Keezy.
Yeah, we show us.
Soul Music Slave?
Yeah.
Show us, man.
Yo, that was the first R&B album I'd ever worked on.
Oh.
Classic in my book.
Through my window.
Yeah, 13 years ago. 13.
Oh, 13 years ago. Wow.
I wanna get next. Hey, next to you is my joint. That's joint. Or Invisible. Let's look.
That song gives me, or that album gives me chills, man, because remember how chaotic it was in the studio when we were trying to like have some sanity? Chaos in the studio, yo. Chaos. People doing drugs, people doing drug deals, like every character you could possibly think about, bro. Doing that album, I was just like, yo, I'm gonna have a studio of my own one day and I'm gonna produce an album for On Key legit. So here it is. We're getting started on Soul Music Slave 2. But it was chaos, dude. If we imagine if we could have some like peace. Remember we were like starving, like
crazy.
Dude, we had no money.
It was a lot. See, that's that story behind that Soul Music Slave album. Like,
bro, we were starving.
We'd have a lot going on, man.
We'd hit up my bro and be like, "Yo, please, like, get us some sandwiches, dude. We're starving right now." Like, we weren't,
we would get in there and black out. Like, we would get in there and like, we'll grab what we're doing and we're in there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like
locked in, just locked in.
Yeah, we'd get in there super early, 10 o'clock. Come at, like, all right, let's go have some lunch, and it's like 10:30 at night. Like, whoa, what just happened right now?
Yep. Straight like that.
Time escape you when you locked in like that, boy.
Well, you know, they say time flies when you're having fun. So obviously, I was in there getting work done at least.
We had a lot of fun. There was a lot of stressful times though, man. On Key, you see me just like beating my head against the mixing board, like, what is happening right now?
Like, yeah, I know that had to hurt.
Yeah,
some boy, dude. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
And
I was drinking heavy at that time. I was drinking heavy at that time.
Yeah.
But you know what? That me drinking that heavy was like, it kind of gave me the courage to like do things on that album. Like there's some wacky stuff on there where you'd be like, okay, that's weird, but
Sunshine, the record Sunshine, like
sunshine,
the,
dude.
the the production moves on there, like the where everybody else hears is pipes. It's not really pipes.
Is
Ah,
is the
They're
beer
like
bottles?
beer
I was
bottles.
I was drinking. I drink one of the beers to get the notes. So like I'd have a full one to get the high one, and then middle to reach the C, and then I drank a little more to get the E.
It was like
So I was
that.
making chords with the
oh my
bottles.
God.
Yeah.
I remember
Hey,
when he
way to
said, "Hey,
utilize your
he said, wait, I
surroundings.
got an idea. I got an idea." And he went out there and he blew on the bottle, and I was like, I totally didn't know what he was doing. But the way it sounded, I said, "Huh." And then he figured out the harmonies
That's
too. It's
crazy. That's some genius stuff.
crazy.
Hell yeah.
I
Way to go.
honestly,
Hey,
it
way
was
to go,
like
AK.
it
That
was the
crazy.
opposite. It was this kind of like free flowing idea, like.
Yeah.
And I want to say that like I saw somebody do that before, but I realized that it was like I was blowing into the bottle. I was like, whoo, whoo, and I was like, oh, dude, that's a C. And I was like, oh,
Yeah,
let's just make a triad, and then we drank a little more, and they'll be like, all right, give me a new take, and they'll be like, ooh, it
Interesting.
hit the low 7. It was bizarre. But then we put the water. I think there's water in it, right? Is there water
There's
in that
water
song?
in there. Yep.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
did
that
you
was
do
fun.
that? Yeah, it was crazy.
I think I got that off of iMovie. iMovie. I just typed
Yep.
in like water sound or something.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It was
But the
all
bottles with the water made it like make you feel like you were out in the water, like on a sailboat or something. It was a bizarre. I wish we had better equipment to record that album on too, because I could hear a lot of like distortion in some of the stuff that I probably wasn't paying attention to the levels. But I also want to re-record some of those songs like with the same idea, but.
that'd be fire.
Yeah, enough about us. Let's
Yeah.
Yeah.
But those were some good
I
memories.
think we got some honorable mentions of producers like
Okay.
you know, we were talking about
Tim and Bob.
Tim and Bob, Full
We were
Force,
talking about
you know,
Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis.
Let's not forget Raphael Sadiq.
Thank
Ah.
you. You took you took the words out of my mouth.
Yep.
Yeah. Salam Remy.
Salam Remy,
Oh,
DJ
yeah.
Quick, DJ Quick.
Lord. DJ
All right,
Quick,
hold
yes,
on, DJ
sir.
Quick. Okay,
Yeah.
is it DJ Quick because of what he did with
Tony Tom.
That
El DeBarge?
Barge.
El
Yep.
DeBarge.
Did I tell you about when I met El DeBarge?
No.
We were at NAMM and I was slammed, dude.
Oh, I know
He
you
walks
got
right
drunk
by
on
me,
it.
and you know me, dude. I'm 5'7". I'm short. This dude walks by me, and his head's like right here. I grab him, and I was like,
snap.
he was wearing a suit. He was all sweaty. Just got off the stage, and I was like, El DeBarge. And I just like shook him. Poor guy. Security came over, like pulled my. Like,
Jesus. So how tall is El DeBarge?
Oh,
you got to be 5'4", 5'5". Let's look it up.
Him and
I'm like
Teddy
5'.
Riley, little bitty.
I'm 5'10". So
I'm 5'7".
I'm rarely around people that make me feel tall.
Yeah, man.
Everybody's
Straight
told
up.
me.
Who else is there?
Lord.
Oh, we didn't.
So,
Oh, we didn't.
Well, you know, the last episode we mentioned Jermaine Dupri,
Right.
Definitely.
Cox.
Be cop.
More
I think even Swiss Beats came up too.
Yes, he did.
all right.
Are we gonna
Hold
give
on.
no
I can't stand Swiss Beats, dude. I'm so sorry. I haven't heard one like
Exclusive.
chord played by the guy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Alicia
Hey,
Keys.
And
Hey,
you,
they live
and
right
you
here in
100%.
San Diego too.
And you
People keep
100%
saying they're seeing
right.
them.
Yeah, they got a house out there.
Yeah,
Yo,
I've seen them
but-
around a few times.
On Key, remember I used to get in those like arguments with Twomps about like rappers. I remember we got in this argument. Like he was like, "I think Jadakiss is the best of all time." I was like, "Homie, Slick Rick is the best of all time, or Rakim." or
Those are
KRS. Like, what do you mean
those are the
Jada Kiss?
classic arguments right there.
Those are the
It was
classic.
both of them knew what they were talking about. So it wasn't like, hey, I'm just stuck on this one artist. It was like both of them knew who they were talking about.
Yeah.
But he said Swiss Beats was one of his favorite producers, and I almost lost it, bro. I was just like, yo, it forever made me dislike Swiss Beats.
He's a beat maker every day.
He's a beat maker. Thank you.
Hey,
So
but
would he be part of what you were
different.
saying when you saying like the levels of production? Are you saying that he's one of the ones that he doesn't do? He doesn't do what Babyface does. He doesn't do what
At all.
DJ Quick does.
At all. He don't
Well,
hold a
you know,
candle to them.
Look, I think a DJ Quick, what he's genius at is, from what I hear, is that he's a dope engineer. So he knows how to make his like drums crack. He knows, like, he's been through the whole nine with drums and percussion and all that. So I give him that, because that's a big part of producing, knowing how to make what you want sound a certain way. But
DJ Quick,
you know,
play too. He's a musician too. I said DJ
yeah,
Quick's a
I
musician
see.
too.
That's what I wanted to clarify. I didn't know if he can play.
Yeah, he can play.
Yeah, he plays.
Yeah, for sure.
What about Warren G? Can Warren G play?
Yeah, he plays a little bit too. Plays a little bit next to DJs. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
because I saw the video of
a lot of these producers, like from that era and on back or whatever, they still always had some kind of like formal background with some kind of instrument. Or
because
some
I
kind,
seen DJ Quick and
evolve
Elder
into something else.
Barge. I seen DJ Quick and Elder Barge working on a record.
On the
I
keys.
saw that video.
They both
The
going back and
documentary.
forth.
Right.
Mhm.
Yep.
But then again, there's always levels of playing.
That's facts
Yes.
also.
That too.
That's definitely fact.
That too.
I mean, there's levels to everything. So, I mean, that's what makes this conversation so interesting, because I think the simplicity of Jermaine Dupri left a lot of things open, you know, for the artist, you know. Jermaine
Right.
Dupri's 2 chords, but Jermaine also picking the artist and picking the studio and getting the right sounds. And, you know, I don't think of Jermaine Dupri as a musician. I guess that could be a snobby, biased opinion on my behalf, which kind of sucks, because producing
your
doesn't always have
your go-to move is the musician, like a music, because you're the musicianship.
You're a musician.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the musicianship is like, it's like a go-to move. You know what I mean? Like, you know, basketball players got their go-to move. I'm gonna fade on you. I'm gonna shoot a 3,
but it works.
But it works.
Works every time. Yeah.
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 Yep. Different style of producing. Crazy.
It's hard. That's where I get really it's hard. It's hard because,
and it's all a matter of perspective. Like, I mean, you know, like
Yeah.
like what you eat ain't always gonna make me shit at the end of the day. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Like, like I'm pretty sure there's more delicate ways to put it, but to bluntly put it out,
Right.
you know, like, it's all about your taste at the end of the day or whatever. Like,
Right.
there's stuff that you're gonna hear that you might value above other things, and then depending on who you talk to, they might look at it a different way. Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? And that's the beautiful thing about this doggone thing we call R&B. I feel like it's a
because,
marriage of all that.
I
It's
think
always a
even
good blended marriage of
Jermaine
all that.
Dupri kind of grabbed in and was like, you know what? Production wise, this is what I do, but B Cox, this is what B Cox does.
Right.
Exactly.
Unless
So
combine
together we
what
can,
do.
yeah.
hey, all right. So think about this, and this is on a production tip.
Okay.
The waves, the different like peaks and valleys of what producers had to go through from like the 70s to the 80s to the 90s to the 2000s. So what's funny is that producing originated off of finding musicians play instruments, right? And recording those instruments and getting, wow, that was a one take in Motown.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Right.
But then you had this wave of like 95 or 90 or no, late 80s to like 90, 99, no, 2000, whatever, 20-year gap of people programming, right?
Yes.
Whenever somebody like me or On Key or one of you guys come in and actually play the music, producers that make beats go, "Oh, bro, you're actually playing the music,"
Yeah.
and you're like, "What do you mean?"
Wow.
But they're so like, let me grab a sample. I use this website where I grab that.
Yeah.
Let me use my MPC.
And-
Let me get
and
that
piece it
vinyl.
together.
I
Yeah.
got that go-to band that I steal licks off of to
Mm.
make chords
Uh-huh.
and to make bridges. And then when they come into a situation with musicians, they're like, yo, AK, you play that real shit. And you're just like, what do you mean, man? This is like that was such a like total from outfield kind of thing to take other people's music and filter it and all that.
Yeah.
Like it took more work than to really, I don't know, I feel like just play the chord, you know?
Right.
But for them, they were intimidated by that. For somebody like me to learn the MPC, I was just like, man, window going into window and like this little green screen and like I gotta figure out how to put it on the pad and really I was only doing it to look cool in the studio because other people associated producing with an MPC and a mixing board.
Yeah.
Mm.
So if you show up without your MPC, they like, where's your MPC? I thought you said you was a producer.
Yeah. And then you pull out a drum set and you pull out a piano and they're like, oh, whoa. Why do you need that? What do you mean?
Right.
You know?
Crazy.
So like
It's
the
just
evolution of producing, people will be like, so like producing now, the concept is like, yo, AK, play that one more time and I'm gonna take a small snippet of what you did. You know, it's no longer an arrangement. It's I guess they're arranging it, simplifying it at the same time, which is a kind of a turnoff for a musician, you know?
Right.
I've seen a lot of musicians leave studio sessions like, what is that dude doing? And then the track takes off, you know, because our ear is like used to hearing something very monotonous and kind of what you were saying earlier, like, yo, like some R&B is very like repetitive, but
for sure.
It's that hypnotic
somebody's ear where it's like, oh, that repetitive sound, I like that. It created a vibe, and like people
hypnotic.
People go off that vibe. You know what I mean? And then there's
other makes people vibrate a certain way, and then people get familiar with that vibration, so it gets to a point to where that's always what they're seeking.
Goes back to the drum circle. You know? So,
yeah, man.
So everybody, you know, so like the Quincy Jones and then the Baby Faces and the L.A. Reeds that were gigging and the Rick Jameses, which is Prince, you know, Prince did Sheila E.'s stuff. Like some of that stuff was hip. It was very pop, but it was still R&B based.
Right.
You know?
Right.
R&B adjacent, if you will.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
It was a crazy but very plentiful time to be in music at.
Right.
It so much fresh and new. It was always something for everybody. Like it was so much. It was just a beautiful time, as I remember.
Well, even like some of your guys' hits, like On Key and Kurt. What's my favorite one on Key? I always forget the name, but it's like
from the Universal album, Show You.
Oh, Show You, man. But think about those samples and think about dude, that song. I was mad when I heard that song. I was not gonna lie, I was mad. I was mad that I didn't have my fingers on it, bro. I was pissed, bro. Like low key, I got in the car and I was like, fuck, I need to call On Key, dude. I can't let another banger slip away and have me not be involved in that. No, that's petty. That's petty. I love that song, but you know, somewhere in there I was like, yo, that producer's great, you know?
Paul Cabin.
I love that. But if you think about the sounds in that song, it's like, yo, what is going on? Like, I was blown away. I was like, dude, that's crazy. But those are the techniques to being a producer, and it's continuously evolving. So this topic is like the evolution of producing. We just kind of covered a broad timeline of different ways getting in the studio was.
Yeah. We
Right.
gave him some good moments. I think we gave him good
For
moments.
sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like some of the
Yeah,
some of the
definitely.
facts that we brought up, like
Exactly.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But yeah,
And,
man,
and there's so much in between all that too, man. So
yeah, man. Any last shout outs anybody want to give?
Well, shout out to the chat, of course.
shout out to the
Shout out to the chat.
He beat us.
Beat him first.
I thought
Pew!
he was gonna do it slower. He just
Nah.
Kurt said, "No, get this
First.
off." Pew!
Yeah, man. For everybody, make sure you like, share, subscribe. You know what I mean? Vibes and Convo every Wednesday and Friday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, my brother, hey Keezy, AK.
Hey, thank you for having me, you guys.
You got any shout outs, Keezy?
Man, there's a lot of people I'm trying to avoid right now. No, I'm just
Hey, shout out that lady that called the popo on you and your dog
shout out to that lady.
and your makeshift hole dungeon you got going on.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Well, no, big shout out to my lady watching the kids right now. That's a big one right there.
That's 100.
Yeah.
That's 100.
Supportive of my musical journey. Shout out to you guys, yo. I got mad love and respect. I'm always tuning in. Let's get some more subscribers, yo. So whoever's watching this, tell your friend, tell your sister, tell your brother, tell your cousin. Let's get this thing cracking because this is great. You know, besides all of us working on music, we still got to stay up to date with reaching out to people and finding those ways to help supporting musicians and help ourselves, you know, plug ourselves, let them know what we're working on. Mm-hmm. And what are you guys working on? Just curious.
He would spin
so
it
I'm
everywhere.
Well, I got a bunch of songs.
And on that note, people, this has been another episode of Vibes and Convo. We're going to catch y'all next week, man. We're going to have more bangers. More bangers. More bangers, y'all. Like, share, and subscribe, man. And hit that notification bell, man. We got more for y'all next week.
All right,
much love and respect. Peace.
Yeah, peace.